Well, Sheila, I guess even you and your liberal cronies have found the light at the end of the tunnel of love with our beloved president. The intellectuals have been much agitated, and now, having gotten the presidency by exploiting the problems they themselves had manufactured, he has done his best to fuel their anxieties about him. Sheila, will you and your pack of bleeding heart liberals never learn that expanding welfare rolls only accelerates inflation and inevitably hurt most those they purport to help?
Why, John, you old stick in the mud. I've been listening to that horse shit of yours for months. And you can take that crap and blow it out your ass. And for good measure, sit on this, John.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Come inside, the show's about to start.
I wrote this song about America. It's called In the States. Charlie will take us off to another world.
Trying to make a break, then you're in a gambling state. But if you're only on the take, don't ever state your mind. If you're only on the make, that's a pretty sorry state. And trying to be kind, oh, they call that a state of mind. Tell me about the state of the future. Pick any state you like. If you want to be in the state, that's a big choice you gotta take. If you want to be in the States, pick any state you like. There's plenty of states to be in. How about the state of mankind? state you like. Plenty of states to be in. How about the state of mankind?
That was a beautiful destruction. Or exactly, more precise, that was the band, Beautiful Destruction. Right now, they are in a pretty sorry state because they never succeeded in getting famous. I don't even think that they released a CD record. They recorded, but I don't think it was released. No, it's not easy being a small band coming from the town I grew up in, Stavanger, on the west coast of Norway. As for to say, for about a year and a half, I have been kind of very unsocial. I haven't been myself, and it has been getting worse and worse all the time. And a few minutes ago, there was a very disturbing message from the health department saying that the Delta virus was increasing. But I now have two doses of vaccine recently, so I had to wait at least 3 more weeks before it starts kicking with a full effect. My friend sitting next to me, yeah, to wait even longer. But somehow we are gonna make it. Could have played Twisted Sister. We're gonna make. We're
not gonna take it.
We are not gonna take it. Well, that was a mistake. Well, But you could sing it as we're gonna make it, we are gonna make it. Also, what the... Yes, we can.
Yes,
We're gonna make it. We are gonna make it, but anymore. It has a-
Forevermore.
Forevermore. We are gonna make it. We are gonna make it. We are gonna make it forevermore. Something like that. Well, it's important to try to not to be too depressed, because of course the whole situation about this virus is very much depressing. And I started to make some video blogs. Well, I didn't start half a year ago. I've been making video blogs since at least 2008, before even that on... Yes, there is a video, but you are... It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. There are no... I'm telling that I'm very much promoting freedom. In the last vlog, I was talking about the right of freedom to speak. And another important thing to me is the right of freedom to smoke whatever you want to smoke. Of course, I don't want to smoke tobacco because it causes lung cancer. I really don't like the police. This is why.
It's a nice plant. This could have made somebody very happy. See, and police come along and that's it.
Joy killers. That is what the police are. Joy killers. And I really don't like them. They prefer people getting drunk and mad by drinking too much beer, which I think is strange because I don't get drunk from beer. I have to drink, for example, whiskey. Whiskey makes me drunk. Beer, no. I think that is a bad symptom. Something related to corona as well. There's absolutely nothing to do because, well, I haven't actually been thinking about talking about much of corona, but since that last message appeared just a few moments ago, it is very difficult not to. So we have not been very much in contact with other people, and I've been talking with a few people on what we nowadays call the 600 ohm, an ordinary telephone. But I've been making video blogs, as I said, at least before 2008. Before that, even before that, I sent about 30 copies about every month of what you would call vlogs to family and friends on DVD. And before that was possible on VCD. So, but I never tried to make them popular for anybody else than my friends and family. Most of them are actually available on YouTube, but with, of course, they are with the Norwegian narration, but with good music and good pictures. Not good picture quality, I'm afraid, because I released them on YouTube when there was quite heavy limitations on the size of the files you could upload, and some of them are even in the smallest format, 240. Few of them in 360. Most of them in 480. But it's only for the last year, 2 years, since the first iPhone, then some of the resolutions has been increased, but not immediately after, because of the internet was very, very slow, and it took many days to upload a video in high resolution. But there are lots of good videos showing how it is here in Merida, and also in the outskirts, and also in many other places in Spain. That is also available at least in 720 resolution, which is not that bad. But I've been sitting here for more than a year without the possibility to make any new movies. And it's just like, you know, that Chinese sauce, sweet and sour, of course, sweet and sour. Well, of course I was sour the day the corona crisis started, but I tried to remain a little sweet. But it is like that sauce contained into hot circumstances, then it just turns sour. And my video blog became very sour, and I had to end it. And that is why I'm now trying to do something new, to make something else, something not corona related, but it is very difficult not to mention the corona. I'll try my best in the next not to mention it at all, but as I said, it is difficult, because as a result, I haven't been even social on social media. And there is a friend of mine known only on Facebook and mostly on YouTube. His name is Sindre Møllerhaug. He has a really nice channel. He's doing videos in the format minute by minute. Very popular in Norwegian, in Norway. Norwegian television have made lots of videos in that format, showing cab rides with trains, and even 5 days long, I think, non-stop transmission with Hurtigruta, it's called. It's a boat traveling from Bergen to the city and the top of the world almost, passing Nordkapp and Cape North, and arriving at the destination. I think it was about 5 days with non-stop television. And these days they are doing a show called Sommerskuta. It's not the prettiest of sail ships from Norway. It's a boat called Statsråd Lehmkuhl, which only is a barge. We are having much more prettier sail ships in Norway. But that is another story. Sindre is doing videos in the format that NRK is doing, very popular videos. He's shooting entire journeys between Norwegian cities. He's living in Haugesund, in the same region as Stavanger, the city that I grew up in. But that region is divided by a large fjord, so we're talking about the north and the southern part of the region. He lives in the northern part. Quite a lot of nice people are living there. And right now I think the Norwegian Film Festival is going on in Haugesund. Maybe it was finished a few days ago, I'm really not sure. I think it's going on right now, but what the fuck, that isn't really important. Sindre is important. He asks if there is any way that I could include his videos in my vlog, and of course there is. Sindre, I'm going to show part of your journey from Haugesund to Bergen. I think that Sindre a few years ago we had a very good discussion, but after the 13th of March last year, when Spain declared a state of what's it called in English? Riksalarm. I'm not sure if there is a similar word in English. Well, a state of emergency for the whole of the country. And I became I wasn't using social media. And I'm sure that Sindre was thinking that if I was a good friend, I talked to him more often than I did. Well, you know me, Sindre. I'm always procrastinating. If I were a train, I would be late. But more about that after I have to eat breakfast. I'm drinking beer, but I have to eat something. I have to have something for breakfast. Well, I don't like marmalade. To tell you the truth, I really hate marmalade. So I don't agree with my friend Alan. But shall we join him in eating a psychedelic breakfast?
Flakes. Then scrambled egg, bacon, sausages, tomatoes, toast, coffee, marmalade. I like marmalade. Yes, porridge is nice. Any cereal, I like all cereal. Yes, porridge is nice. Oh, God. Any cereal, I like all cereal. Yes, porridge is nice. Oh, God. Any cereal, I like all cereal. Yes, porridge is nice. Oh, God.
If you're a Libra and you've been hesitant about making that big purchase, hold off for another couple of days. Don't forget, your moon is in Sagittarius, not the time for reckless spending. You Virgos can expect an untimely death or perhaps a tragic dismemberment for someone very close to you. Pisces, it's a good time to pull the plug on that machine that's been keeping your daughter alive for the past 6 months. If you're a Taurus, see your florist. And if you're a Gemini like me, well, you can expect the unexpected. I'm Joyce Wilson, your astro...
Breakfast in Los Angeles. Microbiotic stuff. Microbiotic stuff. Microbiotic stuff. You know what I mean, John? Well, he's sort of I'm driving on the road, he has a sleep. Gets ready for the gig. I'm driving on the road, he has a sleep.
I know.
Gets ready for the gig. I'm driving on the road, he has a sleep. He does all the electrical stuff. I can't bother with that. So I don't know what that is. 19 days, Riviera. To blank.
We just ate breakfast with Alan's psychedelic breakfast. Fix that water crane, Alan. I won't talk to you anymore. If I were a good man, I talked to you more often than I did. And but I'm just like a train, always late again. I was listening to the A side of that fantastic album, Atom Heart Mother, for years, because before I flipped it over and discovered this psychedelic breakfast, Alan's psychedelic breakfast. Quite strange. I can understand why they have never released it on a single record, but one that they should have had released on a single record is unbelievable, just unbelievable good. It's If from the B-side of Atom Heart Mother.
Swan, I'd be gone. If I were a train, I'd be late. And if I were a good man, I'd talk with you more often than I do. If I were asleep, I could dream. If I were afraid, I could hide. If I go insane, please don't put your wires in my brain. The moon, I'd be cool. If I were at all, I would bend. If I were a good man, I'd understand the spaces between friends. If I were alone, I would cry. And if I were with you, I'd be home and dry. And if I go insane, will you still let me join in with the game? train, I'd be late again. If I were a good man, I'd talk with you more often than I do.
From the B-side of Atom Hot Mother, If, a very undervalued song, I should say. Very demanding to the speaker systems. So I tried to turn the volume down, but on a spectrum analyzer you can see why it almost destroys many speaker systems. I hope I didn't ruin yours. No, I put the volume down, so I think it should be okay. For me, that is quite a new song, even though it is very old. I said in the first video blog talking about Pink Floyd that I've been playing the A side of Meddle all over and over again, but that is actually wrong. Echoes is the B-side of the record, B-side of Meddle. So it was the B-side I was playing all over again. But when I saw the content of the A-side, of course I recognize it. Most of the songs, if you can call it song. And if you have seen that very good movie, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii, you know all the contents of Meddle. It's all there. So I know it all, but haven't been listening much to the A side actually. It's the B side that is the most fascinating. It is, well, the entire version of Echoes. In the film, that is split in two, with the other songs from the A side in the middle. Strange that that movie ever happened. It was this French director, TV director, actually made for a French TV station that had this crazy idea. He wrote to Pink Floyd about it, and they think that it was so crazy that if they really were allowed to make a concert with or without audiences, of course it had to be without, because it is a historical ruin. If they could get the permission to do that, Pink Floyd were willing to do that. And they recorded very much. Some of the recordings were not that good, so one of them are dubbed a little later with some extra scenes, and actually the whole
song with a dog singing
made on a dark stage somewhere in France, because the recording out in the ruins of Pompeii failed. But that is something I wish I didn't know. It ruins. No, it doesn't ruin anything. The film is fucking great if you haven't seen it. I think it is available on YouTube. Pink Floyd, I think they have uploaded themselves. Maybe the channel is called Pink Floyd, maybe it's called David Gilmour, because it was David Gilmour that told the press that that film was now, of course not without any copyright, but it was possible for all TV stations and YouTube to use that film without paying for copyright. But they were still owning the copyright. It was only free of use because, well, the truth is that not many kids are listening to Pink Floyd these days. One of my friends now living in the United States, I think at the beginning he really didn't like Atom Heart Mother. But I didn't know that, so I was playing it lots of times, and eventually I think I made him just love that album. The A side, that is. I'm not sure, I think so. But I had a 600-ohm conversation with him a few days ago. And he said he actually didn't like Pink Floyd very much. For him it was Roger Waters. Yes, I said, I think Roger Waters is definitely the best part of Pink Floyd. And after they split, well, Pink Floyd, the new Pink Floyd has released a couple of good songs. One of them is On the Turning Away, which is very much like an ordinary Pink Floyd song, but that Division Bell and what is called the main title of that, Learning to Fly. Catchy song, but it is not Pink Floyd. But Roger Waters, he has been continuing making stuff more or less in the same style as Pink Floyd. This song, the first song we are about to hear, is quite old. It is, well, I don't know exactly the discographic. Isn't that the right word? The discographic, I think it might be. I think you might understand it anyway. The list of the records released by Roger Waters, I have actually not been Googling that, but...
What discographic?
Yes. How old is the pros and cons of hitchhiking? Do you remember, Endre?
Oh,
35 years. It's long before Radio Chaos and all that good stuff. 3-4 years before. Well, actually, I must admit that I haven't been listening very much to that record, because the only catchy song I found for playing on radio was the title cut. And why not continuing watching the road trip from Sindre on his way from Haugesund to Bergen, while hearing the pros and cons of hitchhiking.
How you doing, bro? Where you been? Where you going?
And he takes your hand in some strange California handshake and breaks the bone. A housewife from Encino whose husband's on the golf course with his book. Breaks and makes of you and idles back to take a second look at you. Tobacco
The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking by Roger Waters. And there was a power failure here. So now I know how it is to be without an internet connection. We were without an internet connection for about 20 minutes. So there was absolutely no way of knowing what had happened in the world. I can imagine how it is for people with longer internet cuts than that. Because 20 minutes was too long for me to be offline. Now I prefer to be online. I've been, shall we say, not in a very negative way, but I've been criticized for showing the same things all over again for the last year. And I haven't done that in English blogs because I haven't done much of them. In a way it's true, because there is nothing much going on here, nothing is happening. We are doing the same thing every day. I could almost have used the start of Midnight Special. We do the same old things, but that takes too much time. If I had thousands of viewers, I could maybe had my secretary download that clip and put it there from the Midnight Special. We live the same old thing, but there's no curfew. We can go out any time we want, but it's that. I promised not to speak about the coronavirus, but here we are in a sort of voluntary quarantine. And very tired of news and news conferences. At least I'm very glad that Norwegian television don't have the right to show the Olympics, so at least there is possible to get the regular news at 7 on TV, Norwegian TV, every night. But with all the sport going around, it seems like that they are not valuing news at all. No, who needs information, said Roger Waters. But we cannot only play Pink Floyd and Roger Waters. There are actually some rather good artists in this world. And well, Jefferson Airplane, very unlike Jefferson Starship. But White Rabbit I do really like, and we built this city on rock and roll is so fucking bad you would not believe it. I think you might have heard it. It destroys the total image of the great lady Grace Slick. Well, this is another story. Maybe she needs some camouflage, or maybe some help from a ghost. Well, I think the right word for it must be a ghost called camouflage. Well, don't take my word for it, just let's listen to Stan Ridgway.
CFC on a search patrol, hunting Charlie down. It was in the jungle wars of '65. My weapon jammed and I got stuck way out and all alone. And I could hear the enemy moving in close outside. Just then I heard a twig snap and I grabbed my empty gun. And I dug in scared while I counted down my fate. And then a big Marine, a giant with a pair of friendly eyes, appeared there at my shoulder and said, wait. When he came in close beside me, said, don't worry, son, I'm here. If Charlie wants to tangle now, he'll have to dodge. I said, well, thanks a lot. I told him my name and asked him his. And he said, the boys just call me Camouflage. Coming through the brush and all around our ears. It was then I saw this big Marine light a fire in his eye. And it was strange, but suddenly I forgot my fears. Well, we fought all night, and side by side we took our battle stance. And I wondered how the bullets missed this man. 'Cause they seemed to go right through him, just as if he wasn't there. And the morning we both took a chance and ran. And it was near the riverbank when the ambush came on top of us. And I thought it was the end, and we were had. Then a bullet with my name on it came buzzing through a bush. And that big Marine, he just swatted with his hand, just like it was a fly. Whoa, camouflage, things are never quite the way they seem. Whoa, camouflage, this was an awfully strange Marine. And I knew there was something weird about him, 'cause when I turned around, he was pulling a big palm tree right up out of the ground and swatting those Charlies with it from here to kingdom come. When he led me out of danger, I saw my camp and waved goodbye. He just winked at me from the jungle and then was gone. And when I got back to my HQ, I told him about my night and the battle I'd spent with a big Marine named Camouflage. When I said his name, the soldier gulped and a medic took my arm and led me to a green tent on the right. He said, you may be telling true, boy, but this here is Camouflage, and he's been right here since he passed away last night. In fact, he's been here all week long. But before he went, he said Semper Fi and said his only wish was to save a young Marine caught in a barrage. So here, take his dog tag, son. I know he wants you to have it now. And we both said a prayer for a big Marine named Camouflage. Whoa, camouflage, things are never quite the way they seem. Whoa, camouflage, this was an awfully big Marine. So next time you're in a jungle fight and you feel a presence near, or hear a voice that in your mind will lie, just be thankful that you're not alone and you've got some company from a big Marine boys call Camouflage.
kind of a strange story, almost like a ghost story. Well, I told you about the power failure we just had. I didn't thought I had lost anything, but actually I have. What was intended to be the next song, not the last song, but the next song, somehow disappeared in that power failure. But as Roger Waters says, who needs information? Maybe we can play that another time, if I dare. I've been doing so many pronunciation mistakes that quite embarrassing. But that is the way it is. It is just the way it is. And the tide is turning. Oh, I wish I had a sound mixer so that I could put the start of the songs underneath when I'm talking, and also start talking as the song fades out. But on an iPhone with videos, that is, well, I would not say it is quite impossible to do, but it takes a hell of a long time. I've been doing this sometimes, but not today. Not today. Now, who needs information when the tide is turning? Roger Waters, why don't we just cut to the last track of Radio Chaos, and we can hear the rest another day. The tide is turning.
I used to think the world was flat, rarely threw my hat into the crowd. I felt I had used up my quota of yearning. Used to looking on the children at night in the glow of their Donald Duck light, and frighten myself with the thought of my little ones burning. But oh, the tide is turning. The tide is turning. Satellite buzzing through the endless night, exclusive to moonshots and world title fights. Jesus Christ, imagine what it must be earning. Who is the strongest? Who is the best? Who holds the aces, the east or the west? This is the crap our children are learning. Now the satellite's confused, cause on Saturday night the airwaves were full of compassion and light, and his silicon heart warmed to the sight of a billion candles burning. twisted technology sword from the hands of the warlords. The tide is turning. The tide is turning. The tide is turning fast.
Well, I find it easier to understand the Morse code with headphones. In my old days, I used to be not only a radio pirate, but also a radio amateur. My operating license was LA6 CX Lima Alpha Charlie X-ray. I used it a lot in my youth, but I'm still licensed, but I hardly think that I am ever gonna buy a rig. Of course, there are alternatives. You can use the internet to use another person's rig to use shortwave band or whatever, but I think that is quite silly. Sitting there with another phone and texting, "Are you hearing me?" No, I'm not hearing you, so we have to continue writing test messages, so no. But it was the amateur radios that made the broadcasting possible, more or less. Because the first ever transmitted audio speaking was not Morse code. That was not Morse code. It was a guy that was trying to repair a broken transmitter, and Morse code was actually a carrier going on and off, on and off, on and off. And in the other end, there was this guy receiving that used what was it called? Bit frequency oscillator. I think it was something like that. Well, it makes a beep for every carrier. So it sounds like it's a carrier going on and off. But listening to a carrier is like hearing a tone lasting forever. So the guy at the other end was turning off that and just there listening to that the carrier that was not supposed to have any sound at all. But the guy that was repairing the transmitter, he was touching one of those hot tubes, and he was burning his finger as was swearing into the tube. So the metal inside that radio tube started vibrating with the frequency of his voice. And the guy in the other end heard that. That is how radio communications actually was born, because they knew about Morse code a long time before they could start speaking. But of course, the quality of shortwave and even medium wave were quite limited. So they gave the radio amateurs almost everything above medium wave to explore, to see if it could be used for anything. Well, radio amateurs are now operating on the 2-meter band, which is a little higher in frequency than FM radio band, police radio, and emergency radio frequencies. It hadn't been discovered the possibility to use those frequencies without the radio amateurs working for free, just as a hobby, trying to see if it works. And the same goes for, that is VHF, the same goes for UHF, like the frequencies that are used to transmit analog TV on and still are doing a lot of places. Radio amateurs still are operating on 70 centimeter, which is even higher. And they have also put up their own satellites many times, exploring even that. And now everything is used commercially, which I think is very nice, that the hobby can be used for something good as making great sound on frequencies that ICU never thought that was possible to use. So because of that, the radio amateurs are still left with quite big portions of the frequency bands. But of course, the commercial use of those bands are not that great anymore, because more and more are left to the internet. And you see how sensible that is, with the 15-20 minutes cut we had earlier. I just received a message that many thousand of households around the whole of Extremadura is without electricity at the moment. But we have got electricity, so we were lucky. We haven't experienced much power shortage, power cuts, but unfortunately I lost the information. But who needs information? I'm talking too much. I know that I'm talking too much. The first song we heard was a local band from Stavanger, the town where I grew up. And I want to finish with another, not exactly a band. A friend of mine called Peter Johansen is an amazing artist. You see him as just like a memory on parade. A memory on parade, which actually is the title of the song. I think it is just great. So I won't interrupt him with any form of credits. There is not much need for credits on my blogs, but I think I had to name myself as a responsible editor, and the skeletons are important. Never mind the religion, the political beliefs, color. No. Underneath, all humans are the same. Here is one of my friends. One of the fantastic song it is, Memory on Parade. Don't attract the Delta virus. Oh, I mentioned the virus again, sorry. But don't attract it. Here is a fantastic song. See you next time.
I met your friend in the park the other day. She smiled and walked away. I stopped and tried to find her name in my mind, but it must have slipped away somewhere down the line. 'Cause all we are is memories on parade. Memories on parade is all we are. Believe me when someone closes suddenly so far away. Memories on parade, they will not stay. They will not stay. I heard you found a man that treated you wrong. That's when I wrote this song. So maybe now and then you think of what we had, but I guess it's seldom now. And I hope you're not too sad, 'cause all we are is memories on parade. Memories on parade is all we are. Believe me when someone closes suddenly so far away. Memories on parade, they will not stay. They will not stay. Sometimes I feel like I'm lost in my head, like I'm already dead. But then I hear someone like you call my name, and it's just like nothing's changed, like it's all have stayed the same. 'Cause all we are is memories on parade. Memories on parade is all we are. Believe me when someone closes suddenly so far away. Memories on parade will
sangen dere.
I feel good. I know it's over now. I feel good. I know it's over now. See this? Closest on again. I feel good. So good. 'Cause I got you. I feel nice. Sugar and spice. I feel nice. Sugar and spice. I feel good, so good, 'cause I got you. When I hold you in my arms, I know you can do me no harm. I hold you in my arms, I can't do you no harm, 'cause I feel good. I know this how it now. I feel good. I feel it so well. I feel good, so good, 'cause I got you.
Nå tok et vedtak på å legge ned en næring.
If you don't have any art, you're pretty much lost.
Tell everybody, I think you should get out there and do it too. I even changed one of my songs to fit the occasion. It goes, vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. 'Cause once you're dead, then that's a bit too late.